First up, we've got the biggest movie of the summer, which is The Dark Knight.
Oh, no.
Spaceships.
No, guys, The Dark Knight.
So Chris Nolan's previous Batman movie did 84% on the tomato meter, which is pretty good. This one seems to be tracking a lot better. It's probably going to stay high. We've seen the tomato meter, as you said, continue to rise. Might get even higher than it is now.
Right, so it's hovering around 92% at the moment, which is right below Iron Man. Could approach Wall-E territory, which is at 97, but probably, I don't know if it can get up that high again. Regardless, it's one of the year's best films so far.
Critics are saying this one's really intense, though. I've seen some of the reviews that have said that it's pretty much continually climactic. It really hits a very high intensity level and stays there for the entire length of the film.
Right, not to mention it's terrifying. It's PG-13 rated, and almost everybody thinks that that's probably a little bit inappropriate, especially for younger kids.
This was definitely the most borderline PG-13 movie I think that I've seen in a while. There isn't any swearing or anything, but the violence is pretty realistic. There's a lot of really graphic scenes in it, and I would really be shocked to see a lot of little kids in the theater who aren't covering their eyes for a bunch of parts of the movie.
And you've really got, in this movie, yet again, an amazing cast, right? You've got Christian Bale, you've got the late Heath Ledger, who's nothing short of amazing. All the critics seem to agree. He really turns in a performance that people say really is possibly Oscar-worthy.
We had such a great Joker in the Jack Nicholson Joker, that Jack Napier type of character, very smooth Joker. This is a totally different kind who kind of looks like your crazy grandma, like went nuts with her makeup, but at the same time she's the darkest lady you've ever seen.
The Dark Knight has another villain, you know, because you can never have too many villains in a Batman movie. This time,
I beg to differ. Let's ask Joel Schumacher.
Joel Schumacher put nipples on the Batsuit. I'm a fan of that.
Even the critics who like the movie do seem to have one complaint that is pretty common throughout. Christian Bale seems to use this Batman voice that's very, very different from his Bruce Wayne voice.
What's it sound like, Dave?
It sounds a little bit like this, so if I'm Batman at McDonald's, I would like to have a Big Mac. But Bruce Wayne talks like this and says, "Hey everybody, welcome to my party." But Batman, he gets a little bit angry and he likes to talk like this to villains.
Yeah, but you have to do that, because otherwise everybody knows, oh, that's just Bruce under the mask.
I close my eyes when you do that voice, and I don't even know who you are.
See, exactly. So if you had a mask and a cowl and did that voice, like, oh my God, it's Batman. It's not possibly Dave John.
And also one of the best parts, one of my favorite parts about any Batman movie is the Alfred character. He's a really endearing guy, he's a father figure, and Michael Caine kind of plays Bruce Wayne's conscience in this movie. And I think that he does a really great job, just like he did in Batman Begins.
So one of the things that's different about this movie is that it serves as more of, say, a crime movie than a traditional comic book story. It's not an origin story as such. It's not about superpowers. It's really about the effects of crime and crime fighting. And so it kind of actually starts to feel a bit like Michael Mann's Heat or Scorsese's The Departed, which is pretty high territory for a comic book movie.
But here's the big question with The Dark Knight. Is it a masterpiece? A lot of critics are discussing this in their reviews.
Some critics say yes. Some critics say that really it's one of Chris Nolan's best movie, if not his absolute best movie. Some of them are calling it the best comic book movie we've ever seen. Some of them are saying, well, you know, it's a great action movie, but they're not really going all the way and saying a masterpiece. So on that level, critics' opinions are a bit mixed, but most of them, obviously, as the tomato meter say, all agree that it's a great movie.